Pascal Siakam has easily put together the best season of his career, operating at an all-NBA level, but Raptors fans are always going to have questions about what he can bring to the playoffs because of how poorly he played last time he was there. But in today's video, I'm going to explain to you why you need to trust him as we head into them this year. Let's get into it. What's up, Raptors fans? It's Jacob here, back with Amateur Hour Sports. If you want the greatest coverage and analysis on the latest Toronto Raptors news, then you need to be subscribed to Amateur Hour Sports. And this video, as always, is powered by Betstamp. Betstamp is the best in sports bet tracking and odds finding. It shops all the lines for you so you get the maximum value out of all the sports wagers that you're going to be placing anyways. Use the link in the description to download the Betstamp app or download a new account and get the sign-up bonuses that come along with the affiliate link. Use code RAPS on sign up to let them know that I sent you there. But let's get into our topic for today. We need to talk about Pascal Siakam. So this video is coming out on Saturday. I'm recording this Thursday night because of some scheduling issues for myself. And we just watched Pascal Siakam put together a 37-point triple-double with 13 rebounds, 11 assists against the Philadelphia 76ers. No Fred VanVleet, no OG Anunoby, no problem for Siakam, who lifts us over the favored 76ers here. What an absolutely ridiculous performance from Pascal Siakam here. And this is just the latest in what has been just a sensational season. We've been talking about his little pockets, his little runs where he's going on this ridiculous stretch of games, but the entire season in general. 22.5 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, a career high, 5.2 assists, a career high, nearly 50% shooting from the field, and 35% shooting from three. An absolutely spectacular season. I would easily claim that this is an all-NBA level season. He needs to be in that all-NBA third team. And we've talked about this so much in the channel, what Pascal Siakam brings to the team, how important Pascal Siakam is to the team. But whenever you talk about Siakam online, NBA media in general, people always revert to playoff performances. And it's a real shame that Pascal Siakam's really his entire NBA career has been valued based on a 7-game window against the Boston Celtics, because he truly was not great in that series against the Celtics. Siakam's specialty is obviously the spin move, backing down defenders in the post. What the Celtics threw at him in that series, they put Jaylen Brown on him, a nimble defender, and they made sure that he posted up 15 feet away from the basket so he couldn't just easily spin to the rim and get the layups like he normally was during the regular season. Since then, Pascal Siakam has had to adapt. Last season, the Tampa season, he improved his interior game a lot, though his three-point game dropped off a little bit. This season, everything is starting to click. And again, it's such a shame that people discredit Siakam just because of that small sample against the Celtics. Playoffs, big moments, those defining moments of your career, it's such a small sample size. And it's really strange that people don't remember the insane run he had to winning an NBA championship. And in that NBA championship, scoring the title-winning bucket. And people saying, oh, he wasn't the second option on that team. You know, Kawhi Leonard carried. Look at the records that Pascal Siakam was setting with Kawhi Leonard over the course of that entire playoff run. Siakam was absolutely immense. But the thing is, again, it's about these big moments. In the most recent version of the playoffs that Pascal Siakam has participated in, he was a bit of a letdown. I mean, that's an understanding. He was a letdown, for sure. And that's the thing. Like, such a small sample size, but, like, that's where you find the greatest players. They rise up to the occasion, even in these small sample sizes. That's how you can create such strong narratives about players and how they can play in the playoffs. And consequently, that's how you can create narratives about players playing poorly in the playoffs. You look at that with James Harden, look at that with Paul George. You also look at that with Pascal Siakam. But in this video, I want to convince you guys why you need to trust Pascal Siakam in the playoffs. Admittedly, took this video idea from Sportsnet. Sportsnet, the original idea. If you want to go check out their channel, I'm sure you've heard of Sportsnet. They talk about the exact same thing. I didn't watch that video, but I saw the title and went, wow, I definitely need to be talking about this, and I want to give my take on this discussion as well. Siakam this season, it's been like no other. Even if you go back to his other All-NBA season in 2019-2020, he was not this player. Sure, he was knocking down threes, a lot of corner threes, above the break threes, but his game was the interior. It was the inside game. And since then, he has added in so much more tools to his offense. He can ball handle. He can play as the point guard on a lot of occasions. He sure has that interior game, which is even better than it was just a couple of years ago. He's added in such a consistent, such a smooth mid-range shot that opens up so much other plays for himself. Because he's hitting that mid-range shots, he's forcing defenders to play so much more up on him. And as a result, he has way more space on the interior. The fact he's also added in the 3-ball game back, he's just creating so much more space for himself to do all of the other things he was already tremendous at, being finishing at the rim. He has so much more in his bag. Common criticism for him over the last couple of years that he has no bag. He only has one move. That is absolutely not the case. Siakam can hurt your defense in any which way possible. And he's getting all of these 30-point games in true, legitimate ways. He's not farming three-pointers, just hucking up threes. And he's not farming free throws, just heading to the line consistently. I mean, sure, a 30-point game is a 30-point game, but the way Siakam has been doing it is just so much more difficult than what other players are doing. And granted, maybe they make it easy for themselves, but he is an absolute baller. And the reason now that it is going to translate to the playoffs, where it maybe didn't a couple years ago, is that you can't just cut off one part of his game. You cut off the spin move, he'll hurt you in mid-range. There's been so many games this season where Siakam has been balling in the fourth quarter, where the Raptors are relying on him to get the biggest buckets in the biggest game. He has consistently delivered, because when players, opposition defenses, try to take away his game, they throw doubles at him, they try to take away the interior game, he is still knocking down those mid-range shots. There was that excellent one against the Boston Celtics a couple of weeks ago with Tice defending him. A deep two, the Celtics clogged down the paint. Siakam had that deep two on lock in OT to give the Raptors the win, to seal the victory there. The biggest shots in the biggest games. You can't just take away one thing because it'll hurt you in another way. He's knocking down his threes much more consistently this season. I mean, the biggest thing, I'm not a fan of the mid-range shot at all. Like I'm hugely driven by analytics in that regard, and I don't like the mid-range shot. But for specific players, it is necessary. Like I said earlier in the video, it just opens up every other part of his game because he shoots the mid-range shot efficiently enough. When we get to playoffs, that sort of archetype is what thrives. You look at players like Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, sure, they are like the upper echelon of NBA players, some of the best in the league, arguably the best in the league. Same with KD. They knock down a ton of mid-range shots because when you need your best player to just take the ball and go get a bucket, the easiest spot for them to create a high percentage look for themselves, the highest percentage they can get at that point in the game, is in the mid-range. Siakam adding that in, shooting above the NBA average in that area of the court in the mid-range, that is what is going to separate this season from the previous time he was in the playoffs. He was a top guy on the team then, he wasn't showing it. He is still the top guy on the team now. He knows it. Everybody on the team knows it. When it gets to the clutch, they give Pascal Siakam the ball, they get out of the way, and more often than not this season, he has 100% delivered. As a result, I feel confident Siakam is going to bring his game to the playoffs. Maybe there's just going to be games where some shots aren't falling, but consistently over a 7-game series, I expect Pascal Siakam to thrive. I think that this is the most confident he has ever been, and you can really sense it. The way he's flowing, it's so smooth, it's so natural. Nothing seems to be forced with Siakam, and that is such a great sign for Raptors fans. We get to a series likely against the Philadelphia 76ers where Siakam just torched the 76ers a couple of days ago now for you viewers. As we get to the series, that bodes very well if we do in fact match up against the Sixers, especially if we're playing 3 games at home with Matisse Thybulle ineligible to play. And it's not like he's never proven his game in the playoffs before. He's done it. He's won an NBA championship and was the second most influential offensive piece to that team, undoubtedly, unarguably. So he's done it in the biggest moments. The question is, can he do it in the biggest moments as that number one option? That is a question that Raptors fans have. That is still the question I have. But based on the way he's playing this season, based on the way he has evolved his game, I think that Raptors fans like yourself, like myself, need to go into this playoffs that we've already clinched. We need to go into the playoffs confident and trusting the star player on this team. He deserves to be in an all-NBA position, but 2019-2020, he was All-NBA, didn't deliver in the playoffs. This year, I truly believe, is going to be different. And we're seriously going to need to be different if we're going to take down any team in the first round of the playoffs. I believe in Siakam, you should as well. So what's been your take on Pascal Siakam over the course of this season? Do you trust him to deliver in the playoffs? Let me know your honest thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. I'll try to get to them. Because that is it for today's video. Make sure to drop a like if you did enjoy. I mean, you're still watching at the end of the video. You clearly enjoyed, and that deserves a like. Let's get to 300 likes on this video if we can. I know we're able to do it. And make sure for the greatest coverage and analysis on the latest Toronto Raptors news, you need to be subscribed to Amateur Hour Sports. Shout out the Raptors 905. They're playing in the conference finals in the G League tomorrow. That's why I got this shirt on. I was just at their playoff game where they won in the conference semifinals in overtime. What a crazy game there. This video, again, powered by Betstamp. Code RAPS, linked in description. Get the most out of your sports wagers, and I'll see you again next time for another video.